got third. But I thought, well, COVID year, haven't been on stage in a long time, had 2 surgeries and stuff like that. You still stepped in there, and you didn't strike out, you just got third. And it was all right. I stood there, I took it, and I learned a lot about who I am as a man, because I thought, well, what lessons can I take with that experience into 2021 and beyond? So that's really my takeaway from it. I was also able to film my documentary, which will be out hopefully later this year or next year. It's called Breaking Olympia, and it's going to explain a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today, but more in depth as to who I am as a person, and those levels of adversity that you may not have seen throughout my career. And I think I told you about this yesterday. I actually competed at the Olympia with a torn MCL, and I didn't even tell anybody. And those are the things that you do when you're a champion. You don't, do the interviews beforehand and be like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing the Olympia, and, I had these surgeries, and I don't know how I'm gonna do, and, I tore my MCL, so if I place top 5, I'll be happy with that. It's like, no, you shut the hell up, you go into the gym, you do your thing, you turn off the noise, and you just show the hell up.
Well, Phil, a lot of people, before I let you guys turn loose and all that, because I want you guys to be able to get to everything you want to get to today. Phil, a lot of people got to see a side of you they'd never seen before, because most of the bodybuilding fans have never seen you lose. I mean, they literally, they saw you win 7 years in a row. Impressive enough, but so they never had to see a side of you that, well, what happens if Phil, how's he going to react? What's he going to do? And of course, all you did was those of us that know you personally were expecting. You handled yourself with dignity, with class. You congratulated Big Rami and Brandon. Yep. And like I say, none of us had know you expected anything different, but you're the first modern champ that's had to deal with the internet to the degree. Jay caught a little bit right at the end, but not much. But you're the first guy that's had to deal with Instagram and just people coming at you on every side. Your lives are very much you're very much in tune to all that stuff. Your lives are very much out there for anybody, to thousands, millions of people to see. So congratulations to you, though, Phil. Handle yourself like a champ in defeat as you did in victory. And Mike, I'm going to let you guys kind of do what you do, brother man. And enjoy, folks. You got the Titan Mike O'Hearn. Oh, now you want my microphone.
Now I want his microphone, because didn't it seem like his is better than ours? Yeah, so I got to take his. It is the voice.
No, I'm good out of it. You guys enjoy.
Thanks, kiddo.
Hey, let's give it up for Big Bob. I still need you to sign my VHS tape, 1987. I still have that. So I'm gonna feed right off of what Bob was just talking about and what Phil was just talking about. Phil was just talking about first time getting knocked down a little bit and how Phil handled it, but also the aspect of maybe what you guys are dealing with. I would like today to kind of register with you guys on what this man is doing and see if this will help you guys as well. So this man has so much knowledge, but also what he has is, from me, a level of, how would you say, a pinnacle mindset, something that steps outside of the norm, understands that he's different, and accepts that and keeps fighting for what he thing, and that's life. That's why you guys are here at the Health and Fitness Expo, right? You guys are a little different. Is this gone out again? No, we're good. So Phil, with social media, and for a second, talk about, because we know what happened at the Olympia. Can you talk about how you handled that mentally and how that maybe can translate to these guys and help them?
Well, getting ready for any show, you hear the saying of it's you versus you, right? Well, it's easy to say when you're just starting. It's very difficult, obviously, when you win the first time, second time, and then you keep going, like what Bob was saying. And the thing that I had to remind myself is, when you stare in the mirror, when you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, wash your face, what do I see? Sometimes you see yourself very fatigued, sometimes maybe you went out the night before, like, oh man, hungover or whatever, but like I always try to make sure I look at myself for a good 30 seconds. Because before I step out into the world, I need to make sure I'm right. I need to make sure that I'm showing gratitude in the morning of saying thank you, God, for waking me up, giving me that opportunity to do what I need to do and be happy. And throughout that experience of 2020, getting ready for a show, you know, there was the unknown of like, hey, what is it gonna feel like getting back on the Olympia stage? Because in 2019, I bypassed it. And what is it gonna feel like? I've never really been injured so much. Like, what is that gonna be like? So there was a lot of uncertainty going on. And then, of course, because of how I go old school and I don't post all the time, how many of you guys follow me on social media? Raise your hand. Okay, so you guys know I don't post progress pictures for anything, right? It's very rare. And that's just because I always felt like I had to keep something for myself. And I always wanted to just focus on being an artist and presenting you the finished product. I don't need to necessarily show you every step of the way. I want to give you something to look forward to. So I had that in my mind as well, like, hey, I know there's a lot of speculation of how I'm going to look. And what I've noticed is the insecurity of even other competitors, even other judges, promoters, etc., journalists, vloggers, whatever you want to call it, because they were like, we haven't seen him, how he's going to place. So I really made sure that I kept them guessing. So I think there's sometimes maybe in your life where instead of always broadcasting every move that you're making, be that chess player, be 5 steps ahead and let them talk. But you stay focused and just mind your actual business. So, you know, getting ready for the show, it was very difficult because of COVID, obviously. You know, I live in Denver and we had a lot of restrictions. I would have to park down the street because people would recognize my vehicle. I'd have to walk in at night, train with no lights on. It was so wild, but I mean, these are relatable stories. I'm sure you guys have some similar stories. Maybe you didn't even have a place to train. So I was thinking, where's the gratitude feel in the fact that you have keys to a gym? There's some people that don't have anything. And yeah, they're not getting ready for the Olympia, but you have things that, you have the tools. Do I really need, to be honest, do I really need lights? No. I close my eyes half the time trying to feel mind-muscle connection anyway. Like, I don't really need the mirror. I can go home and stare at myself all day if I want. So these are the things of just being resourceful, and I started falling in love in the gym again because I thought, man, this is like in every movie that you see, like a Rocky film or something like that. Why do we like it? Because we're seeing, like, when they're getting ready for battle, they're willing to go through the depths of hell to get where they need to go. You know, chopping wood and all that stuff, like really getting ready for battle. So that part of the show was like everything to me, and it produced it solidified my mindset, and it also solidified everything that I've been telling you guys for the past 15 years. But when I got to Orlando, that's when it got weird because I'm so used to walking into Vegas, so everything was very odd. But you know,
before you go to Orlando, I just want you guys to catch something he kind of went over. And something he went over very nonchalantly is that he's Mr. Olympia. His livelihood is the gym. He should be allowed to go to the gym and train and get ready for the show. That's his job. And there were people that were jealous of him. So that's why the lights were down at the gym. That's why he had to go and walk a couple blocks to get into the gym. Because there's people out there fighting against him going, I don't care. If I can't train, you can't train. So we all got that. Even Mr. Olympia, that his livelihood is the gym, and he should be able to go in there with a key, and I want to see that. We're still getting hated on, and that's just something that we're all dealing with, you know. So
no massage therapist, no chiropractic, no acupuncture, none of the modalities that, you know, look, like an Olympic athlete does the same thing. A professional athlete needs these things to be at their optimal best. I didn't have that. You think chiropractors are going to take me in their office? They're like, dude, I can't. You know, I'm not going to get shut down because of you. You know, massage therapist, nope. I mean, hell, I had a massage therapist that, you know, wouldn't get a test. You know, I'm like, dude, I'll go get a test. Don't worry about it. I'll get a test. Here's the paperwork. He's like, sorry, dude. I'm like, I actually need this shit. Excuse my language, but you said I could be Phil here, so whatever. I actually need this shit so I could be my best. So it was just one of those things over and over again. And I just kept telling myself, you're going to learn little things little things. Like while everybody, like one of the things we, Sheree and I, my fiance, like what we were doing throughout COVID was making sure that we eliminated noise. So when everybody was talking about elections and all this other stuff, because that shit got really weird, very weird, really weird. I cut the cable. I cut it.
I should have done that.
I cut it. I was like, you know what? Sports suck. All this stuff sucks. Everything sucks. It's a bunch of negative crap that I don't need. So I literally take all of our equipment, a big box, and I take it to Xfinity, and I put it right here. I said, cancel my subscription. All I need is streaming. I just need my my YouTube, you know, like maybe a Netflix, because I'm not going to get rid of that. But those two things, that's it. And the guy was like, are you serious? I was like, because he knew who I was. He was like, you know, you watch sports. I said, it's not going to make me better. Everything is a distraction. I'd rather read a bunch of books about self-improvement, self-development, than focus on this negativity in the world, because I'm getting ready for the damn Olympia, and I got to know who the hell I am through a freaking pandemic. So regardless of the outcome, I needed to have more, I'll be honest, I needed more spiritual armor than anything, just to be able to have the mental fortitude to do my best. So those were those things. And then aside from that, you know, you got social media like hammering you, because they want you to respond. It's like a really nasty divorce attorney trying to get you to jump, trying to mess with you. And the devil knows how to get you. They know how to get you with your diet, your training, your everything. So if you put your idolatry in freaking social media, oh man, being Mr. Olympia, oh man, it's gonna come hard and ferocious. So that's why we had to be smarter and tune out that noise. So then what? I could focus on my own personal vibration, reduce that negative frequency so I can focus on my own personal vibration, so then I can produce positivity, gratitude, and let my body actually have harmony for once. And that's why, like, when I got third, it didn't, I mean, yeah, it sucked, because I'm a competitor, that'll never leave. But I was at peace, because I knew that I had won something different. At the end of the day, still tied with Schwarzenegger. Ain't nobody in this room that can say that. You know, thank you. And I earned that, but it's one thing to earn titles. We've all seen athletes, even celebrities that won awards given to them by men, and hate their life or hate themselves. So we're living in this era right now of mental strife. You know, like we're all fighting for something. And you never want to be that person that looks at a bunch of trophies in a room and be like, damn, I really don't even know who I am. And they're the ones that hurt themselves, commit suicide, stuff like that. It's very easy to fall into that. So even I had those moments of that where I'm like, why am I doing this? And that's why I had to really dig deeper and really peel back some layers and understand what gets me up in the morning? Why would I got 7 titles. Like I could go take that, do seminars, make money, do, you know, yeah, I can't travel around the world, but I can do some cool things. Why put on the posing trunks again? Why go through the diet? Why do all that stuff? Because people, like Bob said, aren't used to seeing me lose. So when you've set a certain standard, anything less than first, imagine that. Anything less than first in what you do for your own personal life. Anything less than first in your entire company, but forget the company, an entire world is bad. That will eat you up if you allow it. So that's why I made sure that we eliminated noise, that we eliminated even friends and family, because they weren't on that same level and they didn't want to rise up with us. And that's why Mike and I did this, because we find commonality in a lot of good things. And right now we live in this world where you better align yourself with good, positive people, you know, that, you know, have faith and hope and all that stuff, and actually, you know, put foot to ass when they have to go get what they want in life. Because the world is kind of designed through social media to really like give you this fake love through a like button and a comment. How many people I see, other bodybuilders or people, everybody's a legend now. Everyone's a beast
Everybody's
now.
a legend.
It's like, no, you're not. Because you haven't really been battle tested yet. That's like saying you're a Christian until you actually get battle tested with Christianity. It's really one of those things. You can say whatever you want until you actually get tested. And I really feel that we're all here because we've all been battle tested. And it takes one to know one that's been through it. And I think we're in a good position right now with seminars, things being open, but more importantly, social media. It's to use it for what it was truly designed to do, which was actually to connect people, to try to find commonality, to actually produce service. If I cannot contribute to you, then I feel like I'm doing you a disservice, because God has given me some really cool stuff and has pulled me out of a lot of craziness and still works on me daily. So I always feel like now is my opportunity to peel back the curtain and say, look, I'm here for you guys through my experiences. I'm not perfect. I've done some really cool stuff, but why not share those things and not talk about negativity? This is not about negativity. Social media is, you're gonna have good and bad, but it's all about how you react to it. A lot of the people that may dislike what you have to say, they have other problems going on in their life that you know nothing about. It's not even your freaking business to know about. But for me, climbing those ranks and staying on that mountaintop, I really had to make sure that if someone is going to ridicule or whatever, that has nothing to do with who the hell you are. And in fact, my fiance Cherie actually had me get a book that revolved around minding your own damn business and not giving a damn what other people think about you. Literally, it was like one of those type of books. Because I've had body dysmorphia, okay? How do you not? You're being judged on your appearance. I've had those things, but then I realized, like, if I put too much energy into what someone else has to say, like, oh, what do you think? 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 What do I think? How do I sleep good at night? Like, what do I want? Because I'm the one that has to do the work. I'm the one that has to go through, you know, not having lights at the gym. I'm the one that has to do the cardio when I don't want to do it. I'm the one that has to, you know, eat the food, the dreaded fish diet for like 8 weeks, smelling like tilapia in the house. Like, I'm the one that got to do that. I'm the one that got to lift those weights. If I don't like this, I'm going to later on in life hate my whole existence. And that's something that I'm telling you guys, no matter what you're going through right now, you better learn to love yourself and find out what's bothering you and dig deep and be vulnerable. Doesn't mean you have to be a crybaby on social media. You don't need to do that. And when I mean being a crybaby, it's one of those things where not everybody needs to see that. That's why people have prayer rooms in their house and stuff like that or whatever. Like, go for a walk, go for a drive. Sometimes you gotta keep that to yourself. Because when you're looking for somebody else, like, I'll give you a perfect example. In, I want to say it's 2015, I was doing a guest appearance. You've done this many, many times for Dave Lieberman out in Ohio. Beautiful soul, one of the greatest promoters we have in our sport. I do my guest post and have a great, great time. Get in the car, found out my dad died. I'm like, okay. I mean, he was already sick, but I'm like, okay. I gotta go now back to the hotel, rinse off this crazy tan and oil, you know, and I gotta go meet with 100 people out in the restaurant for a VIP event. You know, the first thing I did was do what everybody else does. Flip open the laptop, log on to Facebook. I got through one sentence and I slammed down the laptop and I yelled. And the reason, you guys know the reason why I yelled. It was because, why am I giving that to you? You don't know me like that. Why am I seeking what? Oh, because that's the easy way. Hey guys, you know, just want to let you know my dad died. Like, I'm the first person that's happened to. It's not funny, but it kind of is. It's like, I'm not the first person to deal with this. And I'm just looking for sympathy, you know, I just want, no disrespect guys, but you allow me to be in Phil right now, so I'm going to say it. I just got done guest posting, had a great time, had everybody cheering and motivated and ready to go kick the world's ass. And yeah, I found out, you know, that sucked. He was 64. I felt cheated. I didn't grow up with him. You know, found a new relationship with him. And I got cut short. How I turned it around, I said, you know what, I'm here for a purpose. I'm gonna take this mess and create a good message with it. I'm gonna go in that shower. If I happen to cry, which I didn't, I'm surprised because I'm kind of sensitive. And my dad's from here. I grew up in Seattle, but my dad's from here. So when you talk about a proud Texan, that man did not cry nothing. Like I mean, proud man. So he was probably like, nope, you're not doing that. You got work to do. Got myself together. By that time, the driver had told, I felt bad for the driver. Could you imagine being the driver in that car? So he told the promoter, and I said, all I need is 5 minutes. Took my 5 minutes. My dad liked scotch, so I was like, all right, cheers to you, Dad. All right, now I'm gonna go do my job. And this is like one of the first times in a public appearance that I've made that, let you guys in on that. But the reason why I'm telling you is that I ain't no different. It's just how I respond. You're no different, it's just how you respond. And I didn't go to social. I dealt, because if I'd have went to social, I'd have been too concerned with your comments. Oh, my condolences, my this, my that. I love that. And later I did tell people, but it wasn't the time yet. Let me deal with it first. You need to deal with your stuff first before you tell everybody else. Because the easy way is just to tell the world everything. Because you know what you're doing, you're sweeping it under the rug. Sweeping all your problems on the rug going on social, expecting someone to fix it. You gotta fix you. You gotta fix your face, right? I had to get in that mirror again, stare. Okay? And say, okay, are you good? Because if you ain't good, you need to be honest if you ain't good. Because they'll wait for you. But you're still gonna do this appearance. And what I learned is that, wow, like if I just not run to that device, I can actually get better. So I know, it's a little long story, but and we're gonna keep talking, but it was just one of those examples of how it's very easy to run to that for comfort. There's other things you can run to, and that's looking in the mirror and having that conversation with yourself, seeing if you're all right, asking why are you not okay, figuring that out, becoming more emotionally intelligent. So then you show up better for the people who do love you. And it's not about always throwing it under the rug and putting things in different compartments. I mean, I get that. Like I still had to put that in a compartment to actually go do that appearance, but I took 30 extra minutes just to make sure I was okay. And those are those things right now I feel like we have to remind ourselves of, is that you good? No? Let's fix it. Let's not run to everybody else to go fix it. We're all pretty intelligent, so you got to know that I ain't no different than any of you guys. And what was really cool about it was that and he's always been there, and he always is. And you guys have had similar stories, and that's why I encourage you to just remain still for a second. Don't always run to that IG. Don't always run to Twitter. Ask yourself, are you good? And be still, and I promise you, something in the universe is gonna help fix it. But you just gotta continue to believe in that. And put yourself in a room full of people who understand the definition of gratitude.
I like that, because before I came up here, a gentleman came up to me and said he's fighting cancer, and he said, have you ever been depressed and have you pulled yourself out? And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you stayed in you and pulled yourself up instead of going to outside sources to get that. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a strong thing, because it's so easy to get the support and get everybody else to lift you up. And I've been there, so I fully understand that concept of going to the social media and looking for the support instead of you sitting on yourself and trying to get yourself to man up, in a sense. But that leads me into something else, and that is Every time somebody gets injured, it's the first thing they do. I'm injured, I can't train. I'm throwing it up on social media, look at me, feel sad for me. Now I know for a fact, you didn't put up nothing getting ready for the Olympia, and you had a torn ACL. Is that right? And so he's getting ready for the biggest show in the world that he's never lost, in the sense after winning, boom, boom, boom. He still goes and does it. Where society that I know, I've been in the industry for over 40 years, so I've seen these guys, even the smallest thing like guest pose, and I remember a guest pose that says, I can't guest pose because I sneezed and I hurt my back. Wow, all right, so this man's getting ready for the Olympia, knees messed up, doesn't say nothing, doesn't put nothing on social media, still stands up and takes the fight. I like that. I like that. I like that. And I think that's why the gladiator mentality between us is what I love about us, is that keep it to yourself. This is about you. Don't look for the symphony, the sadness from society. Mostly like what you're saying, like right now it's a crazy time, and I love the aspect that you did that. What was the mindset?
I think it's wrong, but what's the mindset that you can tell them how you continued forward regardless? Because you could have walked away. Everybody would have understood, right? You hurt your knee, you don't do the Olympia. What made you do it?
You guys know who Tiger Woods is, right? Okay. I think it was 2008, 2009. He was getting ready for, I can't remember exactly the golf tournament, but he took a swing, fell right down, he shattered his leg. I think it was like PGA Championship or something. His Steve, his old caddy, said something of like, hey, like, shut it down. It's over. It's a wrap. Like, you know, because he played like, he kept shooting like crap that first round. He basically told him to F off. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to win this damn thing. And you know what he did? He won. There's this, you know, growing up, I mean, I was born in 79, so going through the 80s, I mean, you saw movies of this word called triumph. And that word is like something so valuable to me, because that means that you went through something. You know, when you're watching the film, and I mean, we've all watched Rocky movies, and you're waiting for the tide to turn. You're waiting for, I mean, he's like dying and stuff, and you're like, like, you know he's gonna win, but you're so into it. And we've all watched, like, you know, Rocky 4 and stuff like that. You know the ending. But every time you watch, you're like, come on, come on. And there's that one moment where the light switches. And he's almost like a man possessed, and he knows that it's his time. I've had that feeling. And in order to know what you're really capable of, you need adversity. You can't build muscles without added adversity, right? That adversity is more resistance. It's resistance training. You ain't gonna build 22, 23 inch biceps lifting 10s all day. It's just not gonna work. Sorry to break it to you. You got
lightweight doesn't work?
No.
Oh.
You can switch it up and be like Ronnie and say lightweight baby and then go all out. You can do that. But you gotta progress. You gotta progress. And you gotta be willing to just go for it. I mean, we've seen this in the evolution of man. I mean, like what was it, like 20, 30 years ago? I mean, a Ferrari did a 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. Damn car does it in under 3 seconds now. How do they do that? They push the envelope. They reinvented themselves. They were willing to evolve. So how can I evolve if I'm stuck in the same patterns and the same habits? If I carry the same habits, I'm never gonna get to that next level. And I was presented an opportunity by being injured to find out who I am, not just with the muscles, but also in here and in here. So that mindset, I'm just like, wouldn't it just be awesome if you just hunkered down and won this damn thing? What kind of cool story would that be? And you know what, I missed. But the reason why I'm still smiling is the fact that I can laugh and be like, man, you still scared the shit out of them, didn't you? You still scared them. I still cut them. I was second after prejudging, you know, and yeah, I got third. Third place ain't that bad. And, you know, I realized that there's just valuable lessons of mental fortitude by getting pushed. If it was perfect, we all know, like, if it was a perfect time, I had everything planned out, you know, with the chiropractor, the massage therapist, all the other cool stuff, COVID wasn't around, I would have won the show. But life ain't always perfect. That's like being in sales. Anyone in sales? Anyone in sales? Okay, so you get Employee of the Month, and it's now the next month. Anyone can hit a lucky jump shot, right? You're a Salesman of the Year. You're a Personal Trainer of the Year. Okay, good job, dude. How about get to that next level? What's gonna push you to that next level? Oh man, but like, damn, boss man gave me a higher quota, but they just fired like 25% of our staff. How am I gonna do this? Well, and I'm sorry for all the movie references, but I mean, we watched that movie Apollo 13, you know, we know the story. How'd they get back? They did not get back with the conventional equipment that was usually necessary to fly and then come back. They came back with, what, 1/10 of what they were supposed to have? So in my mind, I always pull from these different stories of triumphant moments from other people and use them because they remind me that anything is possible. If a damn space shuttle can come back to Earth with all they were facing death. I wasn't. But if they're facing that, and they went back to the drawing board and they figured out every little meticulous thing that they could do to get to the result that they wanted, they defied the odds. Why don't I do the same? Defy the odds. Find more, be more resourceful. Use every ounce of that brain, every ounce of your soul, and be resourceful and figure it out. Because that's what innovation is. That's how we've created all these cool things. Someone dreamt it and then didn't have the perfect situation. It's like our dear friend Juan Morel and his wife. They make those incredible cookies. How do they make the cookies? I mean, she just came up with recipes for his cheat meals on Sunday. Next thing you know, they're killing it, and everybody, including the freaking diabetic, is willing to die for a damn cookie now. But they became resourceful. So
you guys got to try the cookies.
It's not even a shameless plug. It's freaking dope. But at the end of the day, that's my mindset, is finding other stories to show that I'm not alone. So it's okay to seek out other athletes, other people, go to seminars, find out other, you know why? Because they went through it. And sometimes they went through it 10 years ahead of you. So now they can give you the advice to say, hey man, you're about to make a huge mistake. You're about to fall. You're about to fall. Come back over here. Go over here and try this. And that's what this is about, is sharing stories, but being vulnerable and understanding, like, look, your message always can be a great message, but that story of triumph is something that I will always look back at and say, man, it's just incredible what I was able to accomplish by just being in here and in here, here and here, here and here, and knowing that I didn't give up. So that's something that I always want to continue to preach to people, is like, you just got to get in there, okay, and see what happens. And just see what happens. Because if you don't, that's the funny part, is that there are athletes that won't even try. We've all met them. They're the person, the guy, the girl in the gym that looks great. When's your next show? Oh, you know, I don't know. They're scared. No, they are. They're scared. They're scared what other people may think. They're scared that judge, because it's a judgment, they put too much energy into someone else's opinion. Instead of saying, no, for me, I just wanted to step on stage with my peers and see if I can kick their ass. And then see how I compare. And then based on that adjudication, see how I can improve. How can I fine tune this? How can I scope this better? How can I be better? But, you know, throughout my career, I've just been very fortunate to always see adversity as that, like, it's like a fire. I'll walk through it. And I'm fine. But if I put it into my head that, oh man, I'm gonna get burned, I'm gonna die, it's like, you don't know that. You just don't know that. It's like, you'll love this one. And I'm saying this out loud so that people know that I came up with it. And it's being recorded. Live life like leg day. People were laughing because they're like, man, I hate leg day, man. This is bullshit. She's like, oh yeah, I hate it. Yeah, but if I said, let's go train. Oh man, I get to train and feel heat. Oh my god. We're doing legs. Oh man, sorry dude. Like, I know you the gift. You're saving time. You're one of the greatest. But I gotta go. But if we're training arms, you're like all for it, right? Twist that around. Why are you putting that crap in your head that, oh, because it's gonna hurt? Okay? That's all a frame of mind. If you imagine if you switched that up and said, yep, it's gonna hurt, because why is it gonna hurt? Because I haven't done it. I haven't done it before. I put this negativity in my head of saying, I gotta get underneath this bar and actually like, oh my God, I've seen people puke and pass out and this and that. You know, there's always a reward on the other side of pain, you know that, right? So imagine switching that mindset up to where if I live it like a leg day and I have a great leg day, imagine how your arm day is going to be. Imagine how everything is going to be like phenomenal. And if you're in a competitive space, oh man, you just now crushed the competition. You just now separated yourself from everybody else. So those are those things of mental fortitude and actually having that positive like imagination of saying like, well, why am I freaking out about this? Because I've trained people that have puked on back day training with me. So it's just like how you go at it. But if you're too chicken to go chicken legs. But if you're too scared to go do that, then who's to say, like, that's like saying like if Warren Buffett came in here and said, hey, I'm willing to help the next 10 people. The minute he says that, I don't care what it is, I would have left. He would have saw me run faster than Usain Bolt right now, I promise you. If he'd have said, I'm looking for the next 10 people, quick. Because I know something good is going to come out of that. But if I'd have said, well, you know, I've got, you know, family, and I got this, and I got that, and I'm making all these damn excuses. So do not, it's hard, but that's where the discipline comes in. The minute your mind starts to resist, shut it down right there and say, why am I doing that? Oh, well, there's a new job posting coming up. Did you hear about it? Oh, yeah, you know. What? We've all, oh, the body language. Oh, you know. Nah, man, I'll sign up. Well, you don't know anything. I'll figure it out. Because I need to find out what I'm made of. So those are those things like mentally that I just, it wasn't an arrogance, it was just more like, what if? What if it works out?
One of the things that hopefully you guys picked up already is that he doesn't care about the other person's opinion, but it doesn't interfere with what he has set up. He focuses on what he needs to do. That's why he took out the TV. I don't want to watch that stuff. That's negative. I got a show to get ready for it. I'm injured. He stays in his own path. I'm going to still compete. See, I know where Phil grew up. We grew up 45 minutes away from each other. I grew up in a nice area. Didn't have to lock the doors. It was perfect. 9 brothers and sisters. Leave the keys in the car, kind of a cool thing. Phil did not grow up in that kind of a neighborhood.
Oh, hell no.
But I think these are what's great about that he started this mindset at such a young age. And so it's not that Phil's Mr. Olympia that I think that's cool about my friend. What I like about Phil is the stuff that he's battled and comes back. And like you said earlier, you said everybody on Instagram now is a legend. All the 1 year competing, the guy's a legend. It's awesome. For me, I'm an old school guy, so I like the guy that's gone through the battles. The guy that's tested and comes back and wins again. The guy that goes through the hardships and wins. That's what Rocky's about. Rocky's not about the boxing match. It's about the drama that he went through, and at the end, and that's what I think of Phil, and that's why for you guys today, not everybody's perfect. Every life has its ups and downs, and I'm bringing you guys the champ to kind of tell you about the struggles he's had and how he stayed mentally strong on those things. So take those notes. Think about it when you're jumping on Instagram because you got a little injury. I'll remember to stay in it.
No, I piggyback on that just because, yeah, you know, I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I grew up in this area called Rainier Valley, the Rainier Beach high school that I went to. Just this morning, I'm on Twitter and I'm like, oh, one of my friends' brothers, so their cousin was involved in a shooting and he was a bystander that got hit. I'm like, and you know what's interesting, where I come from, I was like, let me look at this Twitter feed because I'm gonna see it. And 3 people said the same thing. They said, well, it's the Rainier Valley area, of course that happens. So that was kind of like the area I grew up in. It's funny because like my parents still live in the same house, and I never show it, I never talk about it, but you know, they still got a screen door, but they actually have bars on their windows. Still. We put them in like, I want to say like in 1986, because the reason why I know that is because the year prior, in 84 and 85, my birthday's the week before Christmas and we got robbed the week of Christmas. So we come home and the doors kicked open, this and that, trees all messed up. I see cops in the house. You know, you don't know what's going on. A cop trying to console you, this and that. And I realized that life is not fair. So, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, I learned at an early age, like life ain't fair. It's just how you respond, how you react. And now I can kind of laugh at it and be like, yeah, I bring my fiance to my area. It's like, hey babe, I'm gonna show you where I grew up. And she's like, oh, you probably grew up in like some fancy ass place. For some reason, everybody probably looks at me like I was born with like this extravagant lifestyle and this and that. It was far from it. So I bring her out and she's like, it was like, let me take you to this one spot. It's called Ezel's Chicken. It's amazing. It's so badass that Oprah herself used to fly to go get it. We take her to this spot and you know, you got the girl smacking on the gun, this and that. I don't know how they smack it from the rear of their teeth, but you know, popping it. And she's like, and I told her, I said, before we walk in here, you better know what you want. And Sharita, she's, no disrespect to any woman out here, but some of y'all, your decision making is very, very lackluster. I mean, it's very bad. It's very slow. And so she's like, no, I got this. So I go up there and I'm like, yeah, I have a number 6 with this and this and this, you know. I mean, this place is so ghetto. They sell Faygo. Anybody know what Faygo is? It's a soda, like high sugar. Yeah. She takes forever. The girl is like, what do you want? It was one of those spots. And then a couple of dudes walk in. They don't see that I'm with her. They're staring at her and stuff. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're going to try to holler at my girl. What do? He's got a little hardware going on in the pants. What's going on? How do I make the exit? We figure it out. But it was just one of those things where, you know, we get back to my parents' house. She's like, this food is amazing, but like, holy shit, like I didn't know that you grew up in this. And, you know, I looked at it as, why not? There's a corner of in Seattle where I grew up, it's called Rainier and Henderson. That's where all the crap goes on. So growing up, like we would walk and we see like the people who were older than us that may have been athletes, ended up not making it, making bad decisions. They'd be on that corner doing whatever. So we used to always say, don't screw around, otherwise your ass gonna be on Rainier and Henderson. And we all have a Rainier and Henderson in every inner city in America. We got one of them. So I just made sure, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I get this education, try to get a scholarship, because that's the only way I'm gonna get away from that corner. Because I'm gonna be, you gotta play the statistics. You gotta be smart and be like, man, like don't think, the minute when someone says, oh, that ain't gonna be me. We've all had them friends growing up, oh no, it ain't gonna be me. No, it is you, because they look at your habits. So you gotta play life with your eyes and understand and not be arrogant and think like, oh, it ain't gonna be me, man. No, you gotta acknowledge that it can, if you allow certain things to disrupt your greatness. So now I can come back and say, yeah, you know, I grew up there. And people are like, how did you grow up there? I mean, Brad Craig, who puts on the Emerald Cup, is a detective for the Seattle Police Department. And he knew me way before I knew him because of where I grew up. So he hired me for guest posing. He's like, yeah, what these people don't know is like all the shit you've seen. I'm like, oh yeah, but that doesn't, but you would never know. Why? Because of how I responded. I didn't become a victim. I didn't have to talk about it all the time. Man, I came from the hood. Okay, and now what? Who are you as a person? How do you respond to adversity? What do you do when you're against all odds and people are saying that you ain't gonna be shit? Are you gonna tuck and run? Or are you gonna man up, put your chest up? I mean, this man has, you know, done amazing things, you know, and like acting and doing other things, guest posing. You dress up as a superhero. Why? Because they stand like this. Superheroes don't stand like this, have their head down. They stand up tall. So those are those things that growing up. Yeah. You got to stand up. You got to get that chest up. You got to understand that those are habits. How do you, when you get told something that you don't like, how are you doing this? Or are you like, and it's tough. I'm with a very strong woman. Very strong. And so is Mike. They're standing right here. Let me ask you. She can get in your ass and you can do one of these. But the minute you do this, and yeah, men make mistakes, I'm sorry. And all you guys, we've all done it. God damn, again, you know? But all they want is for you to look at them back so then they know that you hear them. Because they're not scolding you. They ain't your mama. They're your woman you lay down with. They're trying to get you to listen to something that's going to help you. Because you're the leader. And then you're going to help them. And then you're going to help everybody else around you. They see stuff in you that you don't see sometimes because you're being a low-level person. You're doing this. Stand up straight with your chest up like a superhero and know that you stand for something of higher standard and look back at them, hear the direction, and then use it and go be that superhero that got you the woman in the first place. That's what attracted them in the first place. So when it comes to that mental fortitude, it doesn't just revolve around being a bodybuilder. It revolves around being a good husband. It revolves around being a good father. It revolves around being a good friend. And what I mean by being a good friend, being one of those guys that doesn't always do the yeah, me too thing. And what I mean by me too is, anybody know what I'm getting at? I'm not talking about Me Too movement. I'm talking about, you talk about your friend call you up, they tell you what's going on, and you go, yeah, you know, I had the same thing. Stop doing that shit. They're coming to you in vulnerability. Listen to what they're going through. It ain't always about you. Listen. And that's why social media can really distract you, because you're like, yeah, me too, man. Because that's why you posted that crap. So you can have someone tell you, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too, so did I. It's like, nah, man, like, listen. If Mike called me up and tells me he's going through something, I don't need to say a damn thing. He just needs to be heard. And then if he asks for some advice, or if I just say, hey, man, do you mind if I give you a suggestion? Because I had a similar thing happen to me that might help. And if he says, then I've given him permission. I'm asking for the permission to actually respond. I'm not just going to tell him, because that's not good. The problem is that a lot of the time we get caught up in like always trying to, we want to have commonality, I get that, but we can't always do it that way. We got to sit back and be still and let someone say it, get their words out, and then we just sit there and they're like, okay, you have anything? Okay, now I can step up. You know, so for relationships, for everything, for work relationships, all those things, you gotta have that good mind space, that emotional intelligence, so then you can receive information and then give it back, but it goes in a respectful process. So those are those things like, I can't be coached by Honey Rambod, you know, the guy that I worked with throughout my career, if I'm over here not willing to sit down and shut the hell up and listen to what he has to say. And if he tells me so, oh yeah, I know that. Because I do that shit too. Ask her. She'll be like, yeah. Phil will be like, she'll tell me something. Yeah, babe. Yeah. But every time I do that egotistical bullshit, I mess up. If I just stood there and shut up and actually let those words penetrate me for a second and sit back and digest it, I actually would execute much more efficiently. Much more efficiently. Don't be so quick to prove something to somebody, because we all love acceptance. We do. That's why we go online, and that's what we look for. We search for it. We yearn for it. But if you can just sit there and be in your own thoughts for a second and know why you do what you do, maybe you realize that you're being selfish. Maybe you realize you're being egotistical. Maybe you realize you're being too arrogant. Maybe you realize that you don't have an ounce of gratitude in your entire body, in your entire soul, and you need to change that. But overall, you realize that you have an opportunity to create new habits and to fix it. And you can fix it on your own. And I really encourage everybody to try to do these things, because I really feel like we realize that the world right now is opening up. It's all opening up. In the next 5 years, we're going to find out who really fixed who they are as a person. I really have a feeling about that. We're going to really figure out who fixed them, who fixed their business, who fixed their marriage, who fixed their parental guidance, like how their systems, their strategies, their protocols. They're gonna be tested like a mother when everything gets reopened. I promise you that. And the reason why I'm here is to remind you that we're in a very interesting time right now. Very interesting time. That there's going to be some exponential growth, and there's going to be a lot more failure, because the people that are going to be going up, oh man, sorry, they're going to be like, sorry man, I love you dude, like you my boy and stuff, but I'm over here, man. Because while you were watching Netflix and going on social media and running your mouth about political this or that or all this other nonsense, I was over here learning about who the hell I am and how I'm going to get better as a human being. Because in the end, that's all that matters. So it's just one of those things. If you take anything away, just realize like we're all really the same. It's just how we respond to adversity. And it revolves around analyzing like why I respond the way I do. And it's okay to realize like, man, I'm an egotistical prick sometimes, man. Or I'm a jerk. I respond to criticism really nasty. Really nasty. I respond to someone else's opinion of me really bad. Let's dig deep and figure that stuff out, so then I don't get too exposed when there's a good opportunity. Because last thing I think we all want to not do is block our blessings. We don't need to be blocking them blessings right now. So we got to really try to understand who the hell we are. We got to remind ourselves that there's a huge opportunity for the word of what? Triumph. I think we're in an amazing time in human history because of a pandemic, that we get to see who gets to stand up like Rocky and swing back and actually establish ourselves as better human beings. We really have an opportunity for that if you really think about it, because we all got our asses kicked. We all got beat down. But if the people that are beat down or just stay down, you ain't gonna be around when things are going well, and then you're going to be hating. Then you will be on social media. You'll be looking at the guy that got the girl, that got the house, got the car, got the vacation, got the job they always wanted, and you know what you're going to say? Must be nice. Must be nice. Oh, he lucky. Oh, you lucky, bro. Yeah, you good. Like, oh, Mr. Hollywood. We all hear that shit. Oh, Mr. Hollywood and this, that. No, you know what that means? That means that they didn't respond. They didn't respond to the call to action. They didn't respond. And they continue to do that, and they didn't believe in themselves, that they have their own story. They have their own film. Each and every one of you have a film. You do. You're living in your own movie. And guess who you are? You're the leading actor, actress, right? You're the lead. But you're also the producer. Okay? And you got a higher power that's directing you. But you're the lead. You're not a supporting cast. You got your friends and family, they're the supporting cast. But you're the lead. Then learn how to freaking lead. Learn. Fall down. Take the 8 count. Take the 8. Anybody know what that means? guy gets knocked out, take the 8 count, mandatory 8 count. You don't just get your ass back up after you get knocked down, because you might not have learned shit, you might get knocked down again. Take the 8 count, figure out why you got knocked down, figure out what's going on, write it down, pray about it, meditate about it, do whatever it takes to learn from those mistakes, and then know that the story of triumph is yours. Only if you change that mindset of how you react from a negative and turn it into a positive. But you really have to embrace the hard times. And that's why you see me smiling, because I'm like, I know the sun will shine. I know it's going to happen. I manifest it, I pray about it, I meditate about it. Everything I think about. And it doesn't mean I don't have bad days. I mean, hell, I did lose the Olympia. It sucked. I'm used to winning. But maybe I wasn't supposed to win on the stage. Maybe I was supposed to take that and learn how to win in life. See what I'm saying? See the difference? There's a lesson to be learned in everything that we do if you just have the level of vulnerability and empty your cup like we talk about, because we're huge Bruce Lee fans. Anyone a Bruce Lee fan? Huge Bruce Lee fan. That philosophy of just emptying your cup. And that's why I really want to tell you guys thank you so much for just giving me your undivided attention, because you have allowed yourselves, I can see it, like, and I can feel it, that you've emptied your cup and just been able to let me pour some, you know, some goodness, some perspective, a little bit of wisdom, maybe a little bit of laughter, but overall, some realness, some real stuff from someone that has gone through it. And I'm sure if I visit with you, you're going to tell me a story of your own triumph. But you know what's really cool? It's not always having to write it down on Facebook.
Hopefully you guys got that. So the big thing that we both agree on is, and I know you guys maybe came here just to listen about nutrition and training. We are big believers that the reason we got to where we got to is because of his mindset. It's the mindset. That's priority. That is over the nutrition plan, and it's over the training. But you've got to keep that mind and strong mind. And so let's give it up to Phil for today, for giving that knowledge.
Thank you guys, thank you. You know, I will say this, I've said a lot. I really appreciate you guys again hearing me. Thanks for letting me be Phil for an hour. I don't get to do that very often with the general public. So, you know, I felt it was really imperative that I did this talk, because I too learn stuff, and I seek knowledge, and I seek positivity, and I wanted to, you know, I was in my office about a month and a half ago, and I realized I'm not contributing enough. And I thought, well, should I go to the gym and initial thought, I should go to the gym and post pictures, post a video. That's the easy part, right? What's something that's really impactful? This. Me posting the picture on Instagram, yeah, you know, like 100,000 likes or whatever. That's great. But